Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B, where we talk about all kinds of things. So today I have already been in the kitchen and I've started cooking and I thought, dang, I've done it again. This is another opportunity for me to show you guys something that we're doing. So I have a friend who is, I like to reference her as the nomad now because she is retired and she is traveling all over, enjoying life, enjoying her husband, enjoying her 3 dogs, and they are just making the best of retirement. So they went out and bought a brand new RV. They sold everything that they had, and she gave me quite a bit of stuff, so I am super blessed. And they bought a new truck and they have just been enjoying life. Well, guess what, y'all? She is back in Florida and I am so excited to have the opportunity to spend time with her. So she is going to be coming over to the house tomorrow and we are going to spend all day at the lake with my nephews and my parents and some friends. So we are just going to have a really good time and I'm super excited about this because I haven't seen her since she left, except for like the pictures back and forth and stuff like that. So I'm really grateful to have friends that are so good to me and love me and want to spend time with me. And so today I decided when I got home from work that I was going to be, obviously I'm prepping for tomorrow. So I have some meatballs in the freezer. So we're gonna be doing some meatball subs. We went ahead and we just purchased bread. Obviously you guys know I work 2 jobs, so plus I do YouTube and gardening and family, and so that makes for a really hectic life. My jobs are full-time, so that's a lot on someone's plate. So I try to make the most of my time, but when I have opportunities to have special moments with beautiful people, I do try to make them special. So like I said, I'm going to be pulling those meatballs out of the freezer. We're going to have meatball subs. We just honestly grabbed some of the kids' packs of potato chips because I knew that the kids, everybody gets to kind of select what they like. I know it's not the most healthiest, but it is just because most of our focus, I really want to be on the lake. But I did decide that I was going to make dessert homemade. So today I am going to be making eclairs. Super easy recipe for me. And so I have already been starting to make them, and so I wanted to get started and kind of show you guys. So let's go ahead and get this really quick recipe started. Alright, so what you guys are going to need for this recipe is going to be 1 stick of unsalted butter. I'm just going to use Land O'Lakes butter for this recipe. You're going to need 1 cup of water, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 1 cup of flour, and 4 eggs. This will begin the pocket or the bread that you will be filling up with the actual center of the eclair. Now our eclairs, I literally just got a pack of Jello pudding, which I'll get for you and show you. Alright, so I just got 1 pack of vanilla. Oh, it's French vanilla Jello pudding. I have made the pudding to the instructions on the package. However, I have gone ahead, instead of using milk, I used coconut milk. The full fat in the can, the 365 from Whole Foods, is what I've chosen to use for this recipe. So I just blended that up. That is actually chilling in our refrigerator. And then you're gonna wanna get a container of Cool Whip, like the actual tub of Cool Whip. And so what you do is once this gets set, you will actually stir in Cool Whip to your liking. And then that's what you're gonna use for the filling. And people are gonna think this is super fancy. And that's kind of why I like doing it, because it is a nice treat. It's not something that obviously we eat every day. But it is something that, you know, on a special occasion like this, I like to kind of venture out and do something special. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do is I'm gonna bring you guys down a little bit so you guys can check out how this is going. All right, so I'm just gonna turn, my heat is gonna be like medium to high heat because you want this, it's gonna be melting. So you're just gonna put the 1 stick of butter in there, and I've already made 1 set of these and I realized that's not gonna be sufficient, so we needed to move forward with making some more. All right, so I have the 1 stick of butter. I need 1 cup of water, which I'm gonna be using my little Pyrex to get my cup of water. And I actually get the water hot from the water machine, so it kind of helps the process go much quicker. All right, so we have our 1 cup of steaming water. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that in so we can get this going. All right, it's a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Y'all know I don't measure, so, and I didn't on the last recipe. Does it matter? No, because I've made this before. That was probably a solid tablespoon of sugar. Not that we need extra sugar, but that's just how it worked. That's the cane sugar. Remember, I just used that container for it. All right, so we need to get this melted down. Now, you're not gonna need the flour or the 4 eggs until we take it over to the blender. You'll need to have your mixer out, your blender mixer, like the KitchenAid that I use, with, I think it's called the paddle. And it has, I'll show y'all when we get over there. But so I just need this to melt down. All right, so this is the one that you're gonna need to use for your KitchenAid. So if you wanna go ahead and pull that out while this is melting. I like to just stir this around, get it super melted. And what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and get your flour ready. I am using the organic Kirkland's flour. All right, so y'all can see here I'm using the Organics Kirkland flour. So you're gonna need 1 cup of this. All right, so there's my 1 cup, and I'm gonna take it back over to the sink. To the stove. All right, this is where the process gets kind of tricky, and you got to move like kind of quickly. I've had to turn this up now because it's obviously not melting like I want it to. So I've almost got it like in between medium and high for sure. It's closer to the high because this is going to get melted down, and then you're going to quickly flip in that flour, and you've got to like just stir it up so that way, and leave it on the stove. But I actually, what I end up doing is once this gets to a rolling boil, I just flip it off, and then I go ahead and put that flour in there and just stir it in until it gets kind of nice and congealed together. I'll show you what that looks like because we have to move quickly on this piece of it. And then I take it over to the KitchenAid machine, and I take those 4 eggs, and then I start cracking them in 1 by 1 into that KitchenAid mixer. And I am using Nellie's free-range chicken eggs today. All right, so you guys can see that it's got a rolling boil. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. And here I'm gonna put this whole thing of flour in there. And now I've gotta like quickly stir this. All right, so I'm gonna show you what this looks like so you kind of have an idea. All right, so hopefully you can see past the steam, but this is what you're looking for, that type of consistency to where it's kind of getting in almost like it can just ball up for you. All right, so you can see that I previously just did a batch. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on since we are doing the same type of mix. All right, I'm actually gonna pop this paddle off real quick. And then I'm just gonna flip this in there. Put the paddle back on. You can see that it's still kind of steaming up for sure because it's nice and hot. I go ahead, lock it in place. Start turning it so that that steam kind of gets out a little bit because you don't want it super hot, because if you put the eggs in, what will end up happening is that it will like actually kind of cook and it'll be a little funky. So let some airflow get through it. I'm obviously not a professional, I'm just showing you guys what we do. I'm sure a professional has a better way to do it. All right, so I can see that it's kind of starting to stick to the sides, and that's for me like this is just my own process. I will go ahead and add in the egg now, one of them. And I'll turn it up. And then go ahead and start integrating one more egg at a time. When this is done, I will show you what this actually looks like for piping out. All right, so this is now, in my opinion, ready to be piped. I don't actually have a piping bag. I bought some and I just don't feel like they're my favorite. You can just buy the plastic bags, but if you don't have that, I'm gonna show you that you don't need it. I'm actually just gonna use a gallon size Ziploc bag. I just cut the end of it off. And that is how we are going to pipe these onto the tray. Because I have a batch in there now already on a tray. And I use those silicone sheets. I'll pop you guys in the oven so you can kind of see real quick. But it's really not that difficult to make. It's just a little bit of time and love, you know? And my friend is worth the time and the love, so. All right, so you guys can see that I just cut the end off because I've already done this process once. I'm just taking a wide mouth glass jar. Everybody does it their own way. You know, that's the good thing about like learning other people's ways of cooking is there's no right or wrong. It's just something different, maybe something or some way that you haven't done it, and maybe you learn something new or something you can implement for yourself. I had this one person that was commenting on my YouTube videos. I have no idea who they are, but they were saying how I was doing it wrong. Like I was doing YouTube wrong. I'm like, buddy, do you know that I work 2 jobs? Like full time? And I have a life? Sorry. Sorry I'm not meeting your YouTube needs. That's the thing about haters though, you know? Haters are gonna hate. So you gotta just do you. If it doesn't work, I mean, it's not gonna work for everybody. You can't please everybody. You just have to do the best you can with what you got. And you know what? I just want to show the world love and show the world what I'm doing and my friends and my family. So those who want to be here, even though I am not perfect and this whole platform is new to me and I just want to walk the walk of Jesus and show love, then y'all just keep joining me. That's all I can say. Because like I said, everybody does something different, and as far as I'm concerned, there is no right or wrong. It's just maybe not what you're used to. And there are millions of other people out there that you all can watch, including professionals. But if you just want some genuine, just love and care and kindness, then you can come hang out with me, because that is what I'm used to, especially through doing therapy. All right, so you can see how it looks in the bag. I will just go ahead and seal this up now. This stuff is really super tacky, just so you know. And I've squeezed out quite a bit of air, but what will end up happening is I will just end up piping this now onto the cookie sheet. So sticky and tacky. All right, I'm gonna pop you guys in the oven really quickly so that way you guys can see kind of what that process would look like. Do you see how they're getting nice and like toasty and fluffy, and I've got that sheet down on the bottom? Don't those look great? So I don't want to leave that open too long because it is a specific like heat setting. So what ends up happening as I walk away from you guys, so what ends up happening is, okay, so you're gonna need to have that oven at 425, okay? And then after that, You let it cook for 15 minutes on 425 after you've piped it out onto those silicone sheets. Make them like an eclair style, you know, make them kind of long but not too long like you saw me just do. But you want to do a little bit of an egg wash over the top of it. And like, listen, I'm not professional, so I'll show you what I did. All right, so I just cracked an egg in there, whipped it up, took a paper towel and just dipped it in and then brushed it over the top. You got to use the resources that you have. So again, I'm not a pastry chef or any type of chef. I'm just doing my own thing at home. And so just know that you don't have to have all these fancy things and brushes. Like, keep it simple. Like, people back in the day weren't like, oh, I need this fancy brush. They were like, for all I know, they're probably using a rag to make this. I have no idea how they did it, but you know, do what works for you. So, all right, so we have the oven at 425. Cook them for 15 minutes. Do not open the door like I just did to show you guys for YouTube. Once that timer goes off, you're going to reduce the heat to 375, and then you will cook it for additional 20 to 25 minutes. So obviously you do what's best for you. That's just my own recipe. I literally just have it on a little sheet of paper, and I've just been making these for a long time. My friends love them. For their birthdays, this is what my friends usually ask me to make them, are these eclairs, and they're super simple. Now you can make it really cute and whatnot, and I have some chocolates, and so what I'm going to try to do, hopefully I have enough time because I'm still trying to clean and get everything ready and get the porch ready and, you know, all those things that you do when people are coming over. So what I will end up doing is just getting a double broiler and probably just melting some chocolates down, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Just drizzle it over the top, give it a little bit of chocolate, and it'll be perfect. So super simple, super easy. I will probably bring you guys back so I can show you potentially what that finished product is. Now listen, you don't have to do chocolate on top. I may not even end up having time to do chocolate. So I may just have time for the filling. The problem is that I let these sit and rest, these the actual breading of the eclair, so that the heat can come off of them, because you don't want to stuff that eclair with that cool pudding and Cool Whip, because you're going to mix those two together to make it like nice and fluffy and creamy. And so I'm not going to put that in, and I literally just oftentimes just take a spoon and just fill it with a spoon. You could take a Ziploc bag like I've done here, drop it in there, and then just pipe it in. That may be quicker. I've done that before. It just, to me, there's no difference between me just manually filling it. This does seem to be a little quicker when you put it in a bag and then just try to pipe it in, because you can go faster. But I'm like, yeah, I can just spoon it in just as easily, and I'm not wasting an additional plastic bag. And so I put them back in the fridge when I'm done with that. So really, that's what I'm saying. I hopefully will bring you guys back so you can see the final product of this, because it's super delicious, and that is my goal. But you know, when things start getting wonky, you just do what you can do. So that way you guys can actually see what it'll look like, because it is going to be super good and super delicious. And like I said, so many people love it, and they asked me to make it, and so that's why I'm making this for a special treat. And it's definitely easy. You could probably do it once a week if you really wanted, but is it healthy for you like that? Probably not. So that's why we only do this on special occasions for things like birthdays or friends coming over. So Miss Angie, this goes out to you, this video. Thank you for loving me, being kind, and I can't wait to see you. It's going to be such a good time, and I am looking forward to it. So thank you for being my friend and loving me. So, all right, guys, I will bring you back hopefully as soon as these are all done and all settled. It'll probably be tomorrow, the next day. So you will see me in a different pair of clothes, and but we will hopefully get this final product in, and so that way you guys can really see the joy of making stuff at home and the process. So, all right, guys, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I'll bring you back for that final bonus end piece of this video. All right, so this is on the back end of that video. This pudding has actually set enough. Like I said, you're just gonna make the pudding part like you would normally make pudding. I just didn't use the dairy piece of it. I actually used the 365 coconut milk to put into this. Here's the Cool Whip. We're just literally gonna use regular Cool Whip. I just take about, I don't know, a big old fat dollop of it, And then I just slowly just integrate it into the pudding. And it's that simple. So when those eclairs themselves are actually done, I will pipe this in or just spoon it into the cavity, because you're gonna cut down, like kind of cut it like a taco, to where, because it's like this right now, and you just want to gently cut once these like breads have cooled, and then you're just gonna split it open kind of like a taco. Or you could kind of do like a little, if you want to get fancy, the bread would look like this, and then you want to like circle cut it out like that, and then you'd have an open space like you see at a soup bowl, except you're gonna fill it with this, and then just put the little top back on. But you don't have to get fancy. You can just take a regular knife to it and just do it that way. Hopefully I will get the chance to show you guys, but if not, I wanted to kind of explain it here. All right, so now you can see that the pudding texture has changed, because it's got this like Cool Whip pudding look to it now. And this is what I'm going to use. You see it sticks, so it's perfect. And that's what you're needing to put into those crevices. Now, I don't recommend, I am making the bread a day ahead of time, but I will tell you this, some people like it, some people don't, so you try this. But what I'll end up doing is, when I fill the crevice of those eclairs, I don't like to do it the day before that piece of it, because sometimes they get soggy, and some people, like, they'll fall apart sometimes. So you actually want to try to do it the day that people are going to be arriving, which I know kind of rushes you for time. But if you've already got this piece and the eclair breading itself done, then you can just do it real quick, put it in, and then pour the chocolate over the top. I have done it both ways. The kids don't mind when it's just like kind of falling apart a little bit, but to me, I'm having a guest, so I just want to make sure that everything is as good as it could be. So that's why I'm going to wait until probably the morning to actually finish this project up. So this will sit in the fridge, and then I'll finish up with the breading, and then we will get those ready for tomorrow. So hopefully I will show you guys the final product, and you will get to check it out and hopefully try it for yourself. I will obviously put this recipe in the video itself, so that way you guys have it. You can write it down and just give it a try. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys what the finished actual kind of like bread product looks like. These are hot because I just pulled them out. But you see they kind of have like a natural split in them. They got a little dark, so the next ones I gotta like for sure be careful with. You're just gonna take this knife, and this is how I do it, is it's already kind of split there. So I'm just gonna take it and cut down like a sandwich roll. And then I will fill this pocket up. As you can see, it's like, hopefully you guys can see, it's still steaming. It's so hot. So I just wanted to give you guys a demonstration. I'm gonna go ahead and let these cool, but that is what your final product will actually look like. Right there. So like I said, I will bring you guys back, but you're literally just gonna take that filling that I just showed you, and you're just gonna kind of stuff it in there once these cool. I'm leaving these overnight. Once they start to cool down, I'm just gonna throw them in like a Ziploc bag or like one of the reusable bags, and then that way in the morning I will fill them up and then pour some melted chocolate over the top. All right, everyone, so we are getting ready to go out on the lake, and so I just wanted to show you that I did finish the cream puffs. I did not get a chance to put the chocolate on top, which does just take it to the next level, but they're still gonna be delicious and everybody's going to enjoy them. So here's what they look like. What a nice treat for everyone to enjoy. All right, so just consider that for your next event. And like I said, just if you've got the time, melt a little bit of chocolate, throw it on top, and I'm telling you, it will make it so much better. But that is the final product. All right, everyone, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I will see you guys in my next video.